Okay, and Team 3 will be sharing work on the Pittsburgh Strip District Mobility, urban design solutions for a safer transportation experience in collaboration with 3R Sustainability.
Hello, thank you all for being here today. Super excited to share our project with you. Our project focused on the Strip District neighborhood in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, on urban design solutions for a safer transportation experience. This is a continued Dow Fellowship project that we picked up from last year and I think years previously as well. First off, want to recognize our other group members here, Bree from the School of Architecture, Audrey from Public Policy and Urban Planning, Griffin from Urban Planning. I am Charlie Collins coming from Public Policy, and Gotham coming from Sustainability School. Also want to thank our faculty advisor, Kit McCullough, and our project partner who is here today, Jana Lake, coming from 3R Sustainability, sustainability consulting firm in the Strip District in Pittsburgh.
Hi, everyone. So just a background, the Strip District is The Strip District is a historically significant part of Pittsburgh that has traditionally been a meatpacking and industrial area. The neighborhood has been going through a lot of change in the recent years, with like a lot of businesses and a lot of new offices and residences coming into the area. In the past 5 years, about 2,000 residential units have been added, and there's more incoming. This change in the neighborhood has caused a lot of mobility issues. Cars, pedestrians, and bikers compete for space on the streets. Traditionally, despite the comparatively smaller size of this area, it has been very car dependent, and that is very, very obvious when you just look at the amount of land use that is dedicated solely to surface parking in the area. There have been a lot of contributions to deal with the mobility issues in this area. An example of this is a plan for a circulator in the long term. And our task was to look at the current plan, go and visit the Strip District, and also add to the plan and recommend how the plan can improve and move forward.
So when we visited Pittsburgh earlier this year and throughout the summer after we visited, one of our first deliverables included sort of informal interviews of different people who interact with the Strip District on a regular basis. We called those people profiles. Some examples of people profiles would be a resident, someone who lives in an adjacent neighborhood, who may commute through the Strip District, work in the Strip District, or maybe just goes there for leisure. Or also it includes some folks who live in outlying suburban areas who maybe just do a day trip to the Strip District weekly or monthly. And a common theme that came from these people profiles was a sense of danger, being maybe uncomfortable as a pedestrian or a biker in the Strip District, citing lack of safe pedestrian infrastructure and lack of bike infrastructure. So through those interviews, ultimately this led us to believe that safety is an issue when coming to a more sustainable mobility solution. So we focused on safety and mobility as a means to address sustainability in this project.
Having some trouble with the slide here. Oh, wow, okay. Well, that's a preview, a little bit of a trailer. Oh, okay. Sorry about this. But, okay, Yeah, okay, sounds good. So once we realized that that safety can be a limiting factor in choosing walking and biking over driving in the Strip District, we realized that two deliverables would be essential. The first one would have to cover the question, what can be done to make the streets a little more safer? And the second deliverable would be, what exactly are the dangerous areas of the Strip District? So to answer the first question, we went around and surveyed the Strip District and also did a very comprehensive literature review of traffic calming interventions that have worked in the Strip and in other areas. And then we compiled information such as like finances and other things that would help like make decisions about what to choose when. This was made into a spreadsheet and we're really hoping that this can like make the streets a little bit safer. And to ask a second question, as in to answer the second question, we use the state of Pennsylvania's crash data. They annually upload like data with a spatial component of like where exactly every crash occurred, and we clean and filter this data to understand spatially exactly where every crash in the Strip District occurred. We found a few things. Most of the crashes were on Liberty Avenue, Pennsylvania Avenue, and Smallman Street, which are the three most like significant and popular streets in the Strip District. Accidents occurred like throughout the Strip District, but what we noticed is that most accidents were occurring near intersections. So we did the work of looking at every crash and linking it to its closest intersection to understand what the most dangerous intersections in the area were. We found that 25th and Penn and 16th and Liberty in 2020 and 2021 were the two most dangerous intersections in the area. So those were two deliverables, and here's how we can combine those two deliverables to hopefully have more of an impact.
So like Gotham said, as a way to sort of combine our deliverables being the people profiles, the inventory analysis of best practices, and the crash data, one of our group members, Bree, created this rendering of one of the intersections that Gotham just mentioned as being the most dangerous, 25th and Penn Avenue. So as you can see here, there are no traffic calming methods here, meaning a car could be traveling at higher speeds than is posted through here, and this is fairly dangerous for an area that is heavy with pedestrians. So one method that we examined through our inventory analysis as a cost-effective manner to address this safety issue and hopefully encourage folks to use to travel by foot or by bike is an elevated crosswalk, as you can see in yellow here. An elevated crosswalk stays at the same grade as the sidewalk on the side of the street in the middle of the intersection, meaning a pedestrian isn't going to have to step down into the road and it stays at the same level. And this serves as a dedicated space for the pedestrian, indicating to a driver also that there will be people in the area, hopefully meaning that there will be less accidents, encouraging people to use the infrastructure more and feel safer more generally in this area.
All right, so let's talk a little bit more about how all of this links to sustainability eventually. We really found through this project that mobility issues cause environmental problems that require transformative solutions. About 18% of Pittsburgh's greenhouse gas emissions come from car use and transportation. A lot of this, of course, causes a lot of emissions, contributes to climate change, and of course has damages to air and water, and has a lot of other public health issues. So it is very important to deal with these mobility issues so that car use can decrease in the area.
So yeah, not only do the negative effects of climate change impact those in the Strip District, but it also impacts people regionally, nationally, internationally. And this is how our project connects with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, sustainable cities and communities, as well as industry, innovation, and infrastructure. So in summary, as the population in the district increases, the demand for safe and efficient travel solutions has become increasingly urgent. And through our project and after recognizing the historical context, current practices, and previous efforts to address these mobility, safety, and sustainability issues, it becomes clear that the Strip District community members need to be co-designers in order to foster a meaningful and sustainable change. And we have a few acknowledgements here.
Thank you so much, everyone. First, we'd like to thank the Graham Sustainability Institute and the Dow Company Foundation for all their support. Dr. Kit McCullough, who's our faculty advisor, is here. Thank you so much for everything. Strip District neighbors, 3R Sustainability, especially Dana Lake, who's also here. Thank you so much. Bike Pittsburgh, as well as the very hospitable people of the Strip District. You should visit if you get the chance.
Okay, thank you, Team 3. Questions? Yes.
Great presentation, guys. Great work. Just had a question on the traffic accident analysis. Does that data
Come that way.
Hi guys, great presentation. I appreciated the profiles that you put together, and I'm just kind of curious in your conversations with all of them, how did the wants, needs, and desires of the different kind of profiles either align or were in opposition to one another?
Yeah, this is a wonderful question. Thank you for asking about this. And I think this is part of why we settled on sustainability through the safety and mobility lens, because everybody that we talked to just wanted to get where they were going and wanted to get there safely. And we did have some conflicts in terms of car usage and that being most convenient for some users of the Strip District. I think that we kind of put together these profiles in the hopes that it would allow different users of the Strip District to put themselves in the shoes of someone else using that space. And I think that we kind of were able to bring people together in some way because the Strip District itself is a very dynamic place. And even people that are using vehicles as transport enjoy the walkable aspect of it and enjoy moving around between different exciting businesses and walking by something and just being invited in because of the streetscape and because of the excitement of being in that thriving area. So I think there were definitely areas where we could converge on, but this is one of the reasons that we chose to go forward with a safety analysis towards mobility because, there are a lot of dangerous situations occurring and we wanted to prioritize that. So thank you.
Thank you. Nice presentation. I'm curious to the solution that you folks proposed. Curious because I travel a lot, and that is one I've never seen. I've seen police enforcement. I've seen in Asia digital cameras that see what's going on, AI, and sounds an alarm. I've seen bumps for cars. I've seen in New York dedicated roads for bicycles. I've never seen that one. So I'm just curious to your process on ideating for solutions. Is that novel? Is that proven to be effective?
Yes, it's very proven to be effective. In our inventory, we have listed the effectiveness of each different intervention. We settled on this one just as an illustration of what the streetscape could look like if there was like a major intervention implemented. This elevated crosswalk is a physical modification to the streetscape without removing parking, which is a major issue for users, but also increasing safety significantly. So it's very effective. I I think I need to reference the number exactly, but it's over 30% safer for pedestrians. And I think it's a more feasible option that won't anger certain users.
Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. I know earlier you mentioned the consideration of a loop commuter option. Could you talk a little bit briefly on your decision to step away from that idea and look more at infrastructure changes?
So I definitely, we're not stepping away from the idea. I think a lot of great work has been done in regards to the circulator in previous projects, and also in the part of an open streets project. What we realized when we went to the Strip are a few things. I think there's a lot of diverse opinions in the Strip, and a lot of discussions need to be had. And the circulator is part of the plan, like the city has mentioned it as part of the plan. And there are open streets happening like almost like on some Saturdays, just like experiment and see how it's going. What we realized is that these solutions are going to require a lot more discussion, but the issues of mobility in the Strip are happening now. So we sort of wanted our contribution to be that while these issues are being figured out, how can we continue to mitigate some of the issues that are caused by mobility and reduce car use and promote pedestrianism and biking right now versus, because those problems are happening right now, and it's not something that's waiting to happen.
We have time for one more question, if there are any others. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, this was super interesting. Thank you guys so much. From a feasibility perspective, I was curious, do you know anything about like the cost or the timeline for implementing an elevated sidewalk? Because it seems like a really great solution. I'm just curious if this can be like applied to other, locations with similar frequencies of crashes and things like that.
Yeah, so in our interventions inventory, we have a lot of information on cost ranges. I think it depends on the location, material availability, labor, things like this, but it definitely can be implemented in other areas, other cities. That's what we're hoping. This information can be helpful and applied elsewhere. But they're very variable. So we have cost ranges. I think the raised sidewalk can vary a lot depending on the scale of it. Yeah. I could give you a number, but it probably would be inaccurate. Yeah.
Yeah, the amount that's covered makes a big difference in the cost. And then I would also say that the solution that's implemented also makes a difference for the context of that community. So the intersection that we looked at, the street width is not that great a distance. And then in terms of like making the elevated sidewalk happen, there are of course permitting processes and all of that, but it is effectively like pouring the concrete in the setting to have kind of like that ramp-like structure. So it's something that once everyone says their piece with it and we pay everybody, like could happen very quickly.
Okay, thank you so much, Team 3.